from the News Channel 5 Network. This is Que Pasa Nashville.
Bienvenidos and welcome to Que Pasa Nashville. My name is Christina Allen and thank you for joining us today. I have Ellen Gilbert, who I've been here before, and I love the Global Education Center. Thank you very much for being on the show. I just always enjoy having you coming on with your events and program you do there. But if you can remind the audience exactly what is the Global Education Center?
Global Education Center, we're a multicultural arts, anti-bias arts education center, and we use the arts of diverse cultures to showcase our commonalities and to promote cross-cultural understanding and respect. That's our mission in a nutshell. And I started the program 21 years ago after 15 years of working in schools as an anti-bias educator and having teachers encourage me to open a place where they could come study.
Wow. So you're seeing teachers more or less in elementary or from all grades?
Pre-K through college.
As you find that important now more than ever,
yes.
Not just with the political climate, but as Nashville's growing demographic has shifted, and we are Latinos in the year 2040, you're supposed to be 34% of Davidson County population, but it's our immigrants as well. How does that play a role in how important the Global Education Center is now?
I think it's always been important, and I started it because the diversity that was coming in back the Vietnamese.
Yeah, but you started it at the very
long time ago,
yeah,
right
when it
at the
was
beginning.
Just a speck. Now, Shazam!
So the purpose was so people would understand our newcomers and treat them with respect and understand any cultural differences. Today, it's grown even more important, I think, because we still have the same issues with people being afraid of each other and misunderstanding, you know, cultural norms. And now our schools are we teach in schools where they're half Arabic and half Spanish speaking.
Right.
And, you know, just a smidgen of American children, Native American, American born, I guess I should say. So I think it's even more important today, and I feel like in today's political climate, people feel free to say racist and prejudicial things with no consequence. And so I feel like it's really important to give teachers the tools, to give their children and parents the tools to survive and to thrive in our society.
Recently, after the election, with the political climate, Mayor Berry, Superintendent of Metro Schools, Dr. Johnson, I believe. Joseph. They all came out with statements about how important our diversity is in our community, and how they were getting some backlash. But did that play a role as well with you, increasing opportunity for you to be seen or to speak at different entities besides schools?
Yes, we're getting more calls to mostly schools, though, because that's sort of what we do. You know, that's the purpose we were formed. But we are getting more, and teachers who are immigrants are expressing their fears to me about their children and how they will react to things going on. My own grandchildren are Peruvian, and so the older one was born in Peru, and she asked me the day after the election if she and her mommy were going to have to go back to Peru.
And that's pretty heavy.
And that's scary. She was 8 at the time and 9 now, and so it's very scary. And, you know, she had nightmares. And
so how do we help the other minority, which is the white males or white race, to understand what's going on? Excuse me.
Well, I mean, I think like our mission is to show the commonalities. And so I think we have to just what we do is we just keep using the arts, which is a very safe way to bring up issues like racism, xenophobia, sexism. In the arts, you can kind of make that message without hammering people over the head, but also in our training with teachers and talking with children and listening to them. And you know, when I do anti-bias work with teachers, sometimes if it's a largely white audience and a lot of male teachers, I start with that, how, you know, politically from the beginning of our country's birth, when Native Americans were first, you know, pushed aside, about how white men were kind of set up, you know, to be the property owners and the, you know, the patriarchs or whatever, and how it's really not their fault that they were born into that power position.
I find that now. with the political climate is that our new minority, which is more or less the white race, which is my husband, you know,
Right.
how do we make them feel comfortable and engaged in all the other minorities? And I think maybe that's what was the case with the last election, in my opinion. However, I do find a lot of white families, Anglos, intimidated by all the growth. Not that they don't want it, but they want to understand and learn about it. So do you see that as an opportunity as well, as to do more outreach to the majority, even though it's kind of that majority
minority?
Yeah, that's becoming, because in the state of New Mexico, where I'm from, the minority is the majority, so you don't see a lot of racism, and we have a lot of Native Americans and so forth, but here it's come a long way, and so there's that sense of we have to realize what's going on with the change and respecting their frustrations and challenges, while at the same time looking at us all one big family. So
right, but I think it's fear.
Yeah, it's
people
fear.
are afraid of people who are not like them, or people they don't understand. But I think it's important for the white majority. They have to put themselves in positions where they are in a minority, and they have to learn to feel comfortable with it.
And they have so much power still.
Yes,
to
they
make
still
a big
have power.
difference.
Systemic racism. I mean, it's a power structure that has to be undone from.
But they have power to
all
make
the way
change
up.
too.
Yes,
within,
they do.
as leaders
Yes,
as well.
yes.
So in some of your programming you've done, it's amazing. So kind of share with the viewers some of the different programs you have that really reach out to school children.
Okay. The primary one is Passport to Understanding, which is now 36 years old. And so we have 26 hands-on cultural museums that we go in and we set up a particular culture. Schools choose which ones. We set it up, and I talk for a little bit, depending on the age of the children, from 15 minutes for the little ones to 40 minutes for the older ones. And for the older ones, we talk about times in our history, like the Navajo Long Walk or the Japanese internment camps. We talk about those, and then what we can do to make people from those cultures feel comfortable today and feel like part of our own community. So that's a very popular program. That's very old. And then we have a lot of artists. That's about 100 on our roster, but there's a core of about 30 that go to the schools, and some of them are in the schools every day, and we do drum and dance residencies through different styles of drum and dance, poetry workshops. So we are in metro schools every day, but then we work in 18 counties. So we have, and like next week we'll have a residency in, actually it's this week in Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
That's huge.
So we'll be there 3 days.
Growth,
yeah, so we're all over.
Demand.
Yeah.
That's kind of exciting. But you also have at the Global Education Center, you have classes there, such as ballet, drumming for the children.
Right.
There's a variety.
Right, we have classes in all 4 studios 7 days a week at both locations, because we have our main site in Northwest Nashville and then our satellite site on Nolensville. And so you can take anything from Indian Bharatanatyam dance to Chinese traditional dance to zouk, bachata, salsa, African, capoeira is very popular.
And what is that?
That's a martial art form from Brazil that the slaves from Angola that were brought to Brazil to work the sugar plantations created.
So they're not just for children?
Oh no, all ages. We, from 3, the youngest really in the kids' classes are 3, all the way up through seniors.
So as we look at the millennials and how they are more accepting, do you see a lot more in your classes that are, or is there a certain age that you see much more acceptance and excitement to learn these things? I'm sure it's everyone, but in your case.
A lot of people who move to Nashville who are from other places where it's a little more, their diversity's been there longer. But yeah, we have it depends on the dance form.
Okay.
There are a lot of millennials in a lot of the social dance forms. African dance class has people everywhere from 6 years old up to senior citizens. So I think it kind of depends on which dance form it is. Capoeira is pretty much, there are a few seniors that have taken, but it's pretty much children through adults in their 40s maybe.
So when you look at poetry, do you do spoken word and stuff like that?
Yeah, we do poetry. Ours is a series where it's more of a literature series, and so we'll bring well-known poets in, like we've brought Sonia Sanchez and Jimmy Santiago Baca, Joy Harjo, people like that over the years. Most recently Frank X. Walker, who started the Afro-Latin movement. But we also use regional and local poets. Like last Friday we had a CD release of the collective, the women's writing group that meets at Global.
Okay, so you have a reach in the art. You touch a lot of different entities within the art world, of movement, of poetry, spoken, of dance, and so
music,
that that priority, what's trending now, and the number of reach you have in the school children as well as your satellite offices, you're in a good position. What are your challenges then?
Funding.
Okay, I was getting there.
Because we serve mostly those who are not served by other, we serve the underserved, who are more on the lower economic level, and who are from different cultures that they really want to see a piece of their homeland and a piece of their own culture, and they can't find that a lot in Nashville. So I think because of that, our earned income, we serve 65 to 70,000 people a year, but the earned income is smaller, and so we have to rely on grants and donations.
And I know we're going to be talking about, as we're going to take a quick break, but we have a great event that you're coming up with, with understanding the roots and rhythm. And so we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to continue to talk to Ellen Gilbert with the Global Education Center about the reach they have with their music, the art, everything they're doing in Middle Tennessee. And join us right back with here at Que Pasa Nashville.